We did it! Well, you guys did it. Thanks to you, Awesome Video Games is returning. The original show that we created on this channel in 2006, the original video that was posted was a stupid idea, stupid, silly little sketch show that we created with Ace and Chet and Dad that was a parody of 90s commercials and TV shows about video games of the time in the vein of like Wayne's World type of show. Sketch comedy, stupid, ridiculous, poorly written, but I think pretty funny and a lot of fun to look back on, is finally returning. People have wanted this for a long time. I've wanted it for a long time. And we're going to be now producing two shows that are now supported on Patreon in a huge way, in a way that I never thought that we would see. Not only did you guys support us quicker on Patreon than I thought you would for this particular campaign, but in general, I don't know how to get across to you how the climate of creating online content has changed in a way that I was so wrong about it, so happily wrong about. When I first started making, first of all, I just wanted to make videos for the internet. I just wanted to make videos, first of all. Like, back when I was in high school, I just make stupid little videos with Ben to show to our friends to make them laugh, and I got off on that. I loved the feedback of, like, showing somebody something that you had created and that people could enjoy it, and especially, I always liked making people laugh. And then I thought that after I started making videos for my friends, like, maybe one day I'll make a film or, like, get on TV, make, like, a show or something like that. But then, of course, the advent of the internet comes around, and you realize that you can get immediate gratification and feedback and an audience that you can build and cultivate into a business potentially one day if, say, you sold some t-shirts or like a DVD or something like that. Clearly, the way to go is to sell real things, right? Like real products that people can buy. I was wrong because I always thought that it would be merchandising, then maybe advertising if YouTube could figure out how to let people advertise on their videos or something like that, or they share the revenue, something like that, maybe. And then later on down the road, I saw some shows doing like tip jars and stuff like that, and I thought, yeah, that's nice to have. I was wrong. Switch that order around, and that's where we are today. The three-legged stool that I've always talked about that, like, I mean, I probably didn't come up with the idea. A good business should have multiple streams of income in order to be stable, because I want to keep doing this forever. And the most stable leg on the stool now, the not only biggest, but also the most stable. I don't know if that's how a stool works. You don't want one leg that's bigger than the other. Doesn't matter. The analogy will work. Work with it. Go along with me. Is our audience direct monetary support through Patreon. Why would somebody pay for something that they otherwise get for free? You'll have to ask those guys. But I do actually understand it, is because the audience, the online, like our audience has matured over time, as we have. Not only do they have, you know, to some extent, a more disposable income than the audience that we originally had, which was frankly probably living hand to mouth like we were, as a lot of young people are. Over time, not only has matured in that sense, but has also grown a greater appreciation and understanding of the people on the other side, the passion and dedication that it takes to make content for the internet, and that they know that their appreciation and actual support of something that they want to see more of matters a lot. And I want to express that to you today, how much it matters. I don't know how to, besides giving you that stupid analogy, is that the fact that that leg is so stable, that you guys, it changes the whole way that I go about this game now. I've lived for so long with, first for a very long time just trying to make money, and then for a long time after that worrying that one day all that revenue stream would just disappear. We've seen Doomsday on this channel. We've had our AdSense revoked through a completely matter related not to YouTube, just simply because of a weird snafu with an AdSense, and then just were luckily vindicated by a human on the other side, which is so hard to get. There are other channels, and you guys have been seeing them, and I know you've wanted me to chime in on ones that I don't really have a lot of experience with. DMCA takedowns, never had one. Content ID, or copyright strikes, haven't had one. And that's not to say that that I'm not worried about. I'm just extremely worried about them. I live day in and day out. And it's because I'm worried about copyright strikes that I don't even appeal videos anymore, really. for the things that I do get, and that's content ID matches. I don't even deal with them because of the fear. There are stronger channels than me that can deal with that and are actually more educated on it, and you can watch their videos like I Hate Everything, and you know, Doug Walker has done an extremely, like, this initiative that he's come up with, I support 100%, and I want to amplify that message. But today, my call to action, the way that I want to spin this, in a way, is that not that that doesn't matter, but that the fear of that we have all had as content creators, that we've had to deal with, that out of our control are elements that may one day just destroy our business, don't matter nearly as much as they used to a point where I sleep so soundly at night. And I'll just say, like, Becky and I are so happy these days. Like, I mean, we've always been happy, we've always loved what we're doing, but I can't tell you how relaxed we are now that we have people supporting us and that we don't have to worry. And it's just, that's it. It's pure fear that we lived in, and all creators do in some ways live in, without audience support. Now, fuck YouTube. Fuck the people who don't respect fair use and use the system, the court of YouTube and the system don't have any respect for the law or how it should work, and fuck them for what they do. And yes, I want it to stop, and we should always stay educated about it. It's hard to ask that of an audience, to like be educated about something that even wears me down. It exhausts me keeping up with it, and I'd rather just keep on creating content and not give a fuck. And that's what in some way I can do now. We should always give a fuck. And I hope the Electronic Frontier Foundation takes this on, as they have for a long time, but sets a precedent where these assholes have to actually face the music and realize that they can't do this shit. But the fact is that it's hard to give as big of a fuck as I used to, and that's the message here. It's hard to give fucks when you guys care and have shown your support for us so much. And here's my call to action about it, is because that's when I was watching that controversy, the WTFU, which is just, you know, it's the same head being reared again and again that I've already spoken on at length, fair use, and how, you know, YouTube has a huge stake in this game. The fact that their entire business revolves around it, you would think that they would stand up for creators. Don't even believe them for a second that they stand up for creators. They stand up as far as, you know, a lawsuit can hold them up and have them stood up for creators, because they're protecting those Google billions. But my point is, what was my point? That yeah, so my call to action is, in watching all of that stuff, it's hard to have a call to action besides, like, you know, donate to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and you know, and that's important that they stay strong. But the real call to action to me is keep supporting creators, keep supporting us. Yes, I feel like I've expressed to you so far how important it is, how unexpectedly important I realized it was. But in addition to that, it's the smaller channels that really, people out there with the same passion as I had 10 years ago to start this as a business. And there is nothing wrong with that. Making a living out of something that you love to do is everybody's dream. And if you have the willingness to work hard at it, you should be rewarded for it eventually. And that's the thing that sucks for young channels now that start out, is that they see this stuff happening. And it's like, sure, fine, if Channel Awesome gets taken down, they can amplify that message and get, probably at some point, hopefully, as I think they did, get a human on the other side to correct things, or at least, you know, have the indignation of the angry mob online on their side. What happens when it happens to little channels who can't amplify that message and it just can't be heard above the din and clatter of everything that happens daily on Twitter? And that's why I think more important to almost anybody is how Patreon has facilitated this ability to, like, monetize through direct support that can't be shaken by controversies or by shoot first and ask questions never mentality on YouTube. And so my call to action is continue to support the creators that you love, but also look at the smaller channels too that you may potentially be able to help out, because Patreon has this incredible ability that splits small donations across the fees, the credit card fees, the charges across everybody that you donate to. Back in the day, a $1 donation sucked because it was like half of that got taken away by credit card or PayPal fees. Today, you can donate to 10 guys $1 each. And it may not seem like a lot, $1 a person, but that shit adds up. And we're proof positive that shit adds up and matters over, and those credit card fees are split among them. So it's 5 cents a person instead of 50 cents. It actually makes those micro donations make sense now. And that's why, yeah, so I want to get that. That's what I'm trying to get across the most is support. Thank you so much for your support of us. And a lot of you already are, but continue to support smaller creators. And all creators. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is rambly as my vlogs tend to be, and I'm sorry, but I was talking about how I couldn't understand how people give money to something that they get for free, because I've never really been an audience member since a very long time ago, because I've been so busy creating my own content that I don't find the time really to watch content online. I watch too much baseball to watch anything else. So but when it was put into perspective for me by some of our top donors, that I've been feeling like almost guilty about receiving constant. One guy in particular, like we have a lot of big donors, but we have CV Gun is giving us like $100 a month, $150 a month for like 5 months. And I was like, dude, you don't have to do this all the time or whatever. And he says that he doesn't pay for cable anymore, and he used to pay almost $100 for cable, and he stopped watching. I'm not saying everybody does this, but he said he put it in the perspective for me that he sees us as better entertainment, and again, not everybody will feel this way, but then what he used to watch on TV, and that he doesn't watch any TV anymore. So he says that this isn't a big deal. It's just a part of his budget that he otherwise would have delegated to something else. And that makes me like, it's funny because I think the creators, content creators, especially today on the internet, we've been devalued so much by so many people that I think that even in our own heads, we feel as though we are creating something that should always be considered to be free. And in our opinion, always will be free, but that there will always be a certain contingent of people who have decided that this does have value in my life, and that the culture and community that surrounds it is one that wants to keep it strong and stable. And I can't say enough how much that matters to us, and how, like I said, we sleep easy at night now, and that we can't wait to be 60 years old and 70 years old and doing this. Why the fuck not? Some people are like, why would people watch old people play video games? Because they'll be old too. You guys, I expect to be watching us still when we're 60. Why the fuck not? We're all going to be playing video games, right? And so this is probably the happiest vlog I've ever made. This is, you would think, because I'm talking a little bit about the bullshit, and I feel almost like I don't want to disparage or like minimize the challenges that all creators continue to go through with these illegitimate and wrongful and illegal takedown notices that haven't seen their comeuppance, and I hope one day will. But that's my call to action, is just the action that you're already doing. There is no call to action. It's just stay the course. Because we, thankfully, I don't think, have to worry anymore. And I really fear that I'm going to come off as laissez-faire on this, or that I'm trivializing our challenges. And I think more than anybody, you guys should believe that I would not do that. It's a balance. That's what I'm showing here, is that the balance is, in my opinion, like, as things have gotten better on worse, darker, things have gotten brighter on the other side. I never expected the Turbo Club to grow the way that it did. I never expected them to continue to bring this all the way over to Patreon as well. And how excited I am to make $5,000 an episode and to pay my friends who work on those. I'm actually paying them now. This was the first year that we started paying them. I never thought I'd be able to pay them. I always thought that, I hopefully thought I could make it fun enough that they would continue to do it for free. Well, now we can afford that, and that's unbelievable. It's so gratifying, and it makes it so that, like, I know what I was about to say. I can't believe I'm about to make $5,000 off of a show that we were grateful to make $500 per episode from Machinima on, at a time where, you know, speaking of the dark days, we were worried about paying rent at this location that we'd got moved to in order to make more episodes, because another company, we weren't being, you know, stupid about it. Another company was paying $1,000 an episode, and then they stopped paying like almost the day that we moved in here and got a better studio. They were just like, they just stopped communicating. There was some Dutch. There's nothing wrong with Dutch people. But they're from the Netherlands, and they just fucking stopped paying, and I had no recourse. And I realized how weak you are as a business owner, like how the tides can change and the winds can change, and how you're just a bag in the wind. But we were able to pull through, and that was with that Awesome Video Games. And thankfully, at the same time, Video Games Awesome was on the rise, and that took over, and we were able to just get by, thanks to Becky continuing to work a full-time job during all that time. And then over time, see enough success that we were able to bring the original show back, the one that I wasn't able to, you know, monetize through merchandising, that I always thought would be the #1 way. So if I rambled enough yet, maybe I have. I just want to say thanks, everybody, again, 1,000 times. As somebody who hates to receive anything, help from anybody, maybe I've changed my ways. You've turned me around on it, and the show has a really cool future, and I can't wait to start making stuff for you guys, and I can't wait for you guys to be a part of it, because you guys are a part of it now. Like, whether you like it or not, it's your fault for everything that I do from this day forward. Alright guys, I love you. See you next time.